We're fortunate to have Tim's Vermeer, the motion picture, and by luck we have Tim right here.
Hello.
Hello, Tim. And he is the subject of the thing. It's Tim Jenison. Go ahead, that's
Jenison,
right,
yeah.
Jenison. And Farley Ziegler.
Hello.
Farley is a co-producer with the fantastic Jillette, Penn Jillette, who everybody, either you love him or you hate him, but more people love him, who was known for his extreme magic and also being an effective director. And the two of you teamed up to do this fantastic picture on Vermeer. And what motivated you to do the picture?
Well, one day I got an email from Penn, of Penn & Teller, who I've known for, I don't know, 20-some years, 25 years. He said, I've been holed up in my house with my toddlers. I need an adult conversation. Can you please have dinner with me? And I said, cool. Of course. He sounded desperate. We sat down for steak dinner, and he said, okay, I'm going nuts. He said, I don't want to talk about show business or politics or anything that has to do with work. What do you got? And I said, well, what do you know about Vermeer? He said, the painter? I said, yeah. He said, first paragraph of Wikipedia, you know, that's what I know about it. I saw some of his pictures at a show in New York. And I said, well, he painted 350 years ago. He painted color photographs. And I think I figured out how he did it. I think he was using a machine. And he says, what? And I had on my belt, I had my camera, and I had some video on the camera, and I showed him a little experiment that I did. Mm-hmm. And the little video showed looking through this device, and with this device, you're holding the paintbrush, but you end up painting a photograph. And I showed him a little sample, and he said, oh, I totally get how this works. You know, being a magician, knowing a lot about mirrors, sure. He said, this is a magic trick. Sure. What are you going to do with this? I said, well, I'd like to try to really paint a Vermeer, a new Vermeer that looks like one of the old Vermeers. And Vermeer only painted like 35 pictures. Mm-hmm. And I said, I picked out one that I want to reproduce. And you know, maybe I'll write a paper about it or make a YouTube video. And he said, that's a stupid idea. He said, this could be a real film. Let's make a film about this, you and I.
Brilliant.
And that's how it started. That was in 2009, early February of 2009. And the idea is so simple and elegant that we knew we had to keep it a secret. We didn't want anybody knowing that, you know, if this worked, I think it had discovered something pretty interesting. So we, since 2009, we've been working on this film. We finally finished it about a month and a half ago, mm-hmm. and revealed it, and we're showing it here in the Hamptons.
And it's brilliant. The painting's brilliant. The movie's brilliant. Everything's good.
Thank you.
And are you a trained?
No, that's the thing. I've never painted in my life. I'm not an art guy. I'm a computer guy. Who did a weird experiment, you know,
which makes it even more.
Yeah, you could paint a Vermeer, you know. You just got to have this. You got to go see the movie.
First, I got to steal a camera. That's the hard part.
No, you don't need a camera. Oh. What I believe Vermeer used was a lens, which would be like a telescope lens. They had them all over the place in Holland at that time, and then a couple of mirrors. And if you arrange them just right and set it up, you can sit there.
Wasn't the camera obscura?
There was a part of a camera obscura in that it had that lens, but I wasn't in the dark.
Now, was the image inverted?
Yeah. Well, I was actually looking at it sideways as I painted. My canvas was laying on a table, mm-hmm. and I'm looking at the side of the painting. So when I look at it, it's sideways, but no, it's not inverted. Because of the series of mirrors involved, everything comes back around to the right inversion, you know, unlike a camera obscura, which inverts everything.
Right, and upside down inverted.
Yeah.
But the concept of it, because basic physics and refraction of light and bending of light, and okay, so let's say he did use it. Let's say Vermeer did use it.
Vermeer did use it.
Okay, he did use it.
No,
okay.
You told me to say that.
All right.
Okay.
And he said it very well. Not only does he have a beard, but he's also very, very courteous and kind, which is good.
I'm a jerk.
But the whole idea is, so what? I mean, if an artist uses that tool, and I'm pretty sure here on the East End there are people that do photorealism art.
Yes.
That sort of project it using a simple projector onto a canvas.
Starting with a photograph.
Yeah. Right. And kind of trace along, or however you want to, what's the socially acceptable term?
Right. There isn't any.
There
I mean, the photorealists that work that way, you know, the art establishment kind of looks down on them. At least part of it does. So what does it mean about Vermeer if he was essentially a photographer? If, you know, this was 150 years before the invention of photography,
right.
but does it mean that he's not really an artist? I don't think so. I think it means he was a very, very clever artist. Mm-hmm. At that time in Dutch art, they were just trying to make the most beautiful images they could make.
Right.
They were painting
Good,
beautiful people in beautiful settings with beautiful furniture mm-hmm. and, you know, luxury items, you know, bourgeois
right.
surroundings. And I think he just figured out a better way to do it. And I don't think he would have looked at it as cheating at all.
Next, I don't.
I will say that the what got Tim started in this interest was one of his daughters gave him a book by David Hockney mm-hmm. called Secret Knowledge. Mm-hmm. Hockney discovered by looking at, anyway, he put up a big timeline and saw that in 1420 in Western European art almost overnight looks photographic. You could realize somebody by their portrait and wondered what this could be. And anyway, the book addresses how artists in the Dutch Golden Age mm-hmm. Might have been using optics. And David Hockney ends up featuring significantly in the film. We went to visit him numerous times before Tim started, so Tim could show him this invention, this device, and then afterwards we visited again so Tim could show the result of this experiment. And David Hockney is Tim's biggest advocate, I will say.
Fantastic.
And is absolutely open about saying, you know, artists have always used technology to make the best paintings they can. Artists will embrace this with great, you know, love and fervor. The idea that that anyone with the wherewithal, psychological wherewithal, I will say, to sit down and paint a Vermeer could do it mm-hmm. is very liberating and detracts none from the beauty of the work.
And he's the father of Photoshop, I heard, right?
In a way, he is. I mean, he was compositing things. You know, the items in the painting, like there are people in there. They didn't have to be in that room at the same time, and they weren't. When I painted, my daughter was one of the models, and then one of the guys I work with was another model. They were never in the same room at the same time, and I would move furniture in and out, and you are really, you know, kind of like
you can manipulate it. That's great.
Yeah.
I think it's intriguing, and I think that in many ways it's really takes the art form to a very high level because it involves, you know, physics and it involves optics and involves all this other stuff. You know, it's like with the photographs that are now done by these exotic printers, these oversized, right across the street at Guildhall, there's the artist Close. Chuck Close, and he's has these tapestries that are photoreal. You should go across the street and take a look.
Yeah.
I invite the viewers to do that too. And he uses a technique of computer enhancement and everything else on these large original negatives. But the tapestries are vivid and they're enormous. They're like larger than life. And to me, you know, it's the highest form of art to replicate them in that way.
Yeah, but you know, after photography was invented in about 1839, it was suddenly not important to be realistic anymore. That's not what they were going for because the camera kind of had a monopoly on that all of a sudden. And then people said things like, art is dead now, and that I've seen this photograph.
Right.
And then a little later, people started to go, hey, you know, these photographs, they kind of look like Vermeer's. That's kind of weird, you know, that rumor's been out there, you know. But I mean, Chuck Close is a modern Johannes Vermeer in that way.
Excellent. Well, I'm very pleased that you're here and that we have the pleasure of this beautiful documentary. And Tim Jenison, and we have here Farley Ziegler. And Tim's Vermeer documentary, it's USA, 2013, 80 minutes. It's here at the East End at the Hamptons International Film Festival. You guys have a website that people could sort of log on?
Yeah, timsvermeer.com. We'll get you there. Yeah.
Excellent. You have a distributor?
Sony Pictures Classics has bought all the worldwide rights. You know, before it was even shown to the public, they got wind of this and they were interested and they started snooping around. They said, we might want to buy this, and we're
Sony,
very
the one and only. That's terrific.
Yes, exactly.
That's great. It's a good group.
Yes, it is indeed.
And what's your next project? What are you working on next? I know we're going to work on the Civil War. You're going to play
I'm going to pay
General
Lee,
and I'll play Grant.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to make a painting. I'll tell you that. It was so much work. It was, the film is about an obsession, basically, which I'm guilty of, and it's not so much about science and Vermeer as much as the crazy effort it took to do this weird experiment.
Well, I applaud you. I think that's great, and you encourage everybody else that at home wonders and say, I wonder if I got this and this and this, if that's going to happen. My last question is the product that you use, that you invented, is it going to be available for consumer use?
Oh, well, this, if you see the film, you'll see what this is. Anybody could buy the stuff to put this together. It's very simple. It's very elegant. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm sure somebody will put it up for sale as a kit or something like that, but no plans right now.
Okay. Maybe that's a thing you can throw up on YouTube, how to make the thing. Yeah. That would be a fun. Then you get your YouTube wish, too.
Good idea.
Very good.
I'll give you a percentage.
No, very good. Well, again, it's a pleasure. The film is Tim's Possessive Vermeer, and go and look at it. We highly recommend it.